Well, Mr. Pankaj Mohindroo joins us for a quick chat on the UP Investor Summit. Thank you, Mr. Mohindroo. Very well speech, articulated speech as usual, a good speaker. I'd like to start by asking you, you mentioned 10,000 crores worth of mobiles exported from India. I'll come to the state later, but yes, tell us about the industry first. How is it going? And when we end the fiscal year, what would the numbers stand at?
In 22-23, we'll end up with about 75,000 crores of exports
Okay.
and about total production of about 350,000 crores of mobile phones. That's where we are going to land up with. And the total electronic production will be approximately $90 billion. Total electronic exports should cross $20 billion.
Right. You mentioned about the $90 billion number. How much would it come from a state like Uttar Pradesh, where it would probably, it's still an upcoming hub for the mobile sector? What growth opportunities are you seeing in this state with respect to mobile manufacturing and, of course, the cellular semiconductor issues as well?
I think, as I mentioned in my address, that UP cannot be a sectoral economy. In electronics, also, it cannot take care of one vertical or two verticals. UP has to grow secularly in all the sectors, including semiconductors. So I see out of $300 billion, almost 30% of that coming out of UP, over $100 billion coming out of UP, and the sky is the limit because all the ingredients, especially our young workforce here, once it is properly trained and skilled, it's a lethal asset which India has. Of course, UP and India has to look at disabilities, improving, mitigating disabilities beyond PLI, and that process has to start very vigorously now.
Right. You mentioned about very interesting part about PLI. The industry, on the other hand, has been seeking a lot of strength with respect to the PLI incentives. Even non-fiscal incentives also the industry seeks. So, are you saying that the industry needs to move beyond PLI schemes and fiscal incentives or non-fiscal incentives and start work on their own so that they could probably then become Atmanirbhar?
There is some things which the industry can do. I think that will happen automatically once the scale kicks in. Once the scale kicks in, then you can't hold back Indian entrepreneurs. That is the tipping point where things will dramatically change, and that portion of disability will get taken care of. Before that, I think the governments have to kick in as far as infrastructure is concerned, see how better the power situation now is compared to 2 decades back. Now, we need to do better in terms of pricing. The whole stack up, for example, the electronic manufacturing clusters have to be on par with the best in the world. The Sinchu has to be created in India and in UP. So all this is work in progress.
So, electronics manufacturing hub you're talking about. First, we spoke about mobiles and cellular. Now, electronics. What potential are you seeing with respect to electronics manufacturing? The semiconductor shortage. Do you think UP can probably become a solution to that if good investments come into the state and red tapeism is eventually avoided?
That's going to be a long haul. There is the semiconductor shortage globally is going away now. It is reducing. So we don't have that crisis which we had 2 years back. The growth of the semiconductor industry and the deepening of the supply chain will take half a decade and a complete decade. But we have to take consistent and very robust steps towards it.
Last question. How are you seeing India's cellular manufacturing and electronics manufacturing industry going forward? How are the supply chains concerns for India? And are you in touch with the government for any incentives or schemes or any other support that you might be wanting, sir?
This is a very proactive government, and all of government and all of industry works together. The same thing we can say about government of India and government of UP. And in fact, in some ways, the government is running ahead of the industry in identifying the gaps of the industry and asking us what we need. Uh, I think it's a wonderful partnership, and I'm very optimistic about the future.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.